Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. And this video, I suppose I should begin this video by saying that I'm not a basket load of tears, because I just have a lot of peace in my heart right now. So my mother passed away September the 5th. She had a very, I suppose, I don't know whether to call it a short journey or a long journey, because I honestly, I have nothing to compare that with, really. She was, just as a little recap, if you're new to the channel, my mother was diagnosed with thyroid cancer in April of this year. They found the cancer way too late, and it had already metastasized to many places in our body, and every time we would go back to the hospital we would find someplace new. So the last time she was discharged from the hospital, which was June the 15th, we came home under hospice care. So I can tell you that it's been one of the hardest journeys of my life, to see her through to the end. I have, and though the grief is there, please don't get me wrong, the grief is there, and I'm gonna miss her more than words can really say. My mother has always been my rock, so the grief is there. What keeps me from being a basket case of emotions right now is because even though the journey was absolutely positively difficult, I just have no words for how harsh and how terrible a toll the cancer took on her body. But I kept a promise to her. I made her a promise that I would be there with her every step of the way, and that I would take care of her. And that's exactly what I did. I took as excellent care of her as I possibly could. Don't get me wrong, there were bumps along the road. There were times when I just wanted to scream, and there was bad moments. But it's a journey. And in the end, there was no unfinished business between myself and my mother. Because she suffered so horribly bad. I mean, to not be able to get out of bed, to not be able to take care of yourself, to not be able to do for yourself. The slow starvation, I mean, cancer robs a human being of their appetite. They can't eat, and in the end, they don't even drink. And it's really starvation and dehydration that a person dies from. But unfortunately, the cancer got in her liver, and and because it got in her liver, it also took her mind. So she was not in her right mind when she passed either. So all of those things together, it's she's not suffering anymore. She's not in pain. She's not trapped in a bed. Um, it's just it, it's came as a bit of a relief, really, that for her she's just not suffering anymore, because it was so very hard to watch her suffering. That's the part that brings me to tears, because there was absolutely nothing I could do but keep her medicated. And oh, it's just there just isn't adequate words to say how how bad it truly was. You know, it's not like I haven't taken this journey before with my grandmother, and I was here when she passed away, and helped my mother a little bit with her. But it's different when and it's not that I didn't love my grandmother, and I did, and I grieved for her, and I grieved for my dad when he passed. But there's nothing like your mother, and my mother and I were close. I mean, she was my rock, man. I'm not kidding you. And um, she saw me through so many different things, that it was an honor and a privilege to be able to return the favor and get to be her rock for a while. And it's because there was no unfinished business, and because I was able to keep my promises to her, and because she's not suffering anymore, and she's not in pain, and I feel like she's in the beyond with my dad and my grandparents and all of the family members that passed on before her. She's there with them and happy. And and that brings me such incredible peace, because my own personal beliefs are that the soul is absolutely eternal, and that someday she and I may meet again in the next life, and though it's not precisely the same, our soul will still know it and still bring us together, I think. I believe that. And so those beliefs just, it brings me such peace and such comfort that, and then I also believe that a part of her spirit lives on with me. I mean, part of my religious practice is to honor my ancestors, and so in honoring my ancestors, well, she's my first ancestor, so really, I wouldn't be here without her. So on a daily basis, I honored them. Of course, I for the time that she was sick, I pretty much put all of my religious practices on hold so I could care for her and be there with her. But now I've resumed those practices, so on a daily basis, I honor her and my dad, along with all of the ancestors that came before them both, um, on a daily basis. So it's not the same, but it brings me a great deal of comfort to know that, she's here with me in her spirit, and a part of her lives on inside of me, and I just I am just grateful for that. I am grateful for the peace and the comfort that I feel, and that heavy grief may come later. I mean, there's times when I just cry. That's just being honest. There's just times when I just cry. I'll think of something and go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is real. I can't believe this happened. I can't believe this this is what happened." But for the most part, you know, it's a grief. It's, you know, those it's tinged with the happy memories. I mean, those times when it brings tears to my eyes, it's more or less because, you know, that was a happy memory, and I'm gonna miss the making those happy memories. And so, and grief is a journey. I mean, you never truly get over losing a loved one. You just kind of learn how to live without them. And for me, um, even though I'm not 100% certain what the future is gonna bring, for for the first time in my life, I mean, I have choices that I didn't have before because my mom and dad, they always anchored me here, and so I don't know. I don't know. I know everything that happened in my past prepared me for this moment, so I would be strong enough to endure. And it's it's been both a blessing and a curse, and I've learned so many lessons from this, and it's hard to share everything in a video because um, it's like lessons and money and preparedness in regards to, you know, it's not enough to stock your pantry with food. You've got to stock your bank account with cash because you know it's just there's just an incredible amount of lessons, and I probably have forgotten some of them already. And it's about learning how to cope with life's issues without eating myself into oblivion, which is exactly what I did. And unfortunately, I gained back all the weight that I lost while I was sick because I just, you know, I've got to learn how another way to cope with my emotions than to go eat sweets, and and nothing brought that to the forefront like this experience. And just I don't know. I just know I want my future to be different than my past. I want to build a life that I don't need a vacation from, to borrow that cliche, and I want it to be something that my mom can, and well, my dad too. I want them, my parents, to be able to look on that from wherever they're at and say, "Well done, daughter." So I want it to be something that if they were alive and they were present in the physical spirit here, that they would be proud of. So anyway, I know this has been a little bit long and rambly, um, but I hope um, to get back in the groove of um, producing content because I need something that feels like normal. And I thank you so very much for your time and attention today if you've made it this far. I invite you to like the video and subscribe to the channel to help me grow. And anyway, thanks again and many blessings till next time.